Hello, welcome everyone on YouTube, on Zoom, wherever you are, whenever you watch this program. It's going to be a fun one. Today is day 37 of our second session this year called Going Deeper. My name is Sia. I'm based here in Austin, Texas, and want to remind you to get your futsal bowl ready. Your futsal bowl, your rinse water, your salt, your towel, like we do. If you're here for the first time, don't worry. Everything you will see can be found on our website, where you can visit all the sessions that happened so far. You have people who can help you later on as mentors, for example. We have a mentor program, a one-to-one mentor program. So if you haven't signed up, or if you have signed up and you haven't heard back, look in the chat. There is a link to sign up, but also an email address to write to if you haven't yet been assigned a mentor. The mentor is there to help you with your meditations, with your questions, things that we can't cover in the course. So it's really, really helpful. I would really encourage you to do that. Last Tuesday, we had left vishudi. Left vishudi, which we find here on our left side of our shoulder neck area. Guilt robs us of our energy. If we feel very guilty, the center is blocked. And today we go to the other side, to the right vishudi, which has to do with speech. So the title is The Power of Speech to Give Love to Others. Such a sweet title. So what's happening today? We have such lovely people here today. We have Steve and Julia, who are going to be our meditation leads. Steve will guide us into meditation and tell us a little bit about our right vishudi and the qualities of the right vishudi, followed by a video of Shri Mataji. These are excerpts of talks by the founder of Sahaja Yoga meditation, Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi. After that, I shall play a little music for you. I have a new flute. Ta-da! This is my new Native American flute, and it's lower. It's nicely in tune. And as you know me, little experimental, I have recorded a piano track. And let's see how that goes. So I'm going to play to a pre-recorded piano track. So that's going to happen after the speech, followed by a very beautiful second meditation led by Julia. And we end, as usual, with breakout rooms where you can meet people one-to-one, again, like a mentor for questions, and we have a little bit of a banter going on about the topic in a Q&A setting. So can I have my presenters here? Here we are. Steve is here. Julia is here. Hello.
Hello.
Good to see
Hello.
you. How are you? Tell me, Julia, how have you been?
Yeah, really good. We've had a lot of lovely friends and family visiting lately, so it's been
Okay.
beautiful spring so far in Seattle.
In Seattle, you're in Seattle. Define beautiful spring in Seattle. Is it cold?
I mean, we've had sunshine, we've had cherry blossoms, magnolias.
Oh.
I think like fields and fields of daffodils in the north that are in bloom. So if everyone comes in a month, we'll have tulips.
Oh, wow. That sounds amazing. We have the blue bonnets here in Texas. That sounds beautiful. Wow. Well, welcome, welcome. Looking forward to your meditation. Hello, Steve.
Hello. Hi, Sia.
How have you been?
Fine. Yeah. Thank you very much. Good.
How is the spring where you are in South
Well,
Florida? Probably warmer.
spring, yeah, it's warmer. And right about now, we start to feel a little bit of the heat and humidity that's coming for the summer. So we got a taste of it. But there are always flowers here, and that's always beautiful. So,
Very nice. I don't know what is going on. We also have so much heat, early heat here in Texas. It's a little unusual. Doesn't make you look forward to summer,
yeah.
but let's enjoy what we have, right?
Yeah.
Well, I pass over to you, Steve, with your first part of the meditation. I'll see you all later.
Thank you, Sia. And good evening, everybody. It's great to be here with you. And as Sia said, the subject tonight is the right side of the Vishuddhi chakra, which I think you all know by now is the fifth chakra here. And the right Vishuddhi is, of course, on the right side of our neck, the right side of our throat. And we feel the right Vishuddhi, we feel the Vishuddhi on the index fingers. Excuse me. So the right Vishuddhi we feel on the right index finger. So some of the qualities of the right Vishuddhi The vishudi has a lot to do with communication because, of course, our voice is here. So it's how we use our voice. And it has to do also with the way we regard others, the way we regard ourselves in relation to others. Some of the innate qualities of vishudi, the self-worth, that's something that Purnima talked about the other day on the left side. Left vishudi gives us that self-respect. Diplomacy, the way that we use our voice diplomatically to express in a subtle way what we have to say. A quality of the vishudi is detachment, that feeling that we can stand back enough from a situation, not react to it, but stand back enough that we can see the whole of what's going on, the whole reality of the situation. And in that detached state, we can be a lot more effective, a lot more helpful. So detachment is a thing. I'll just quickly say, sometimes when people hear that word, it has connotations of sort of not having any emotions, or being detached in a sort of cold way. But actually, it's a detachment that comes with compassion and love. It just gives you the distance to see what's really going on and to be helpful. And then lastly, feeling oneness with everyone. So when we talk about collectivity, really we're talking about the experience and the perception of our oneness with other people and also with nature, really with all of creation. So it's not just the concept that we're all brothers and sisters and we're all one. Excuse me. It's the perception, it's the reality that we experience our oneness. And we all experience that together in a very simple way when we get on these sessions online together. And many people notice that our meditations are much deeper when we're meditating together. It's because we are entering into that collectivity, into that state where we're all one, and our energy, combined energy, takes us much further than we can go on our own sometimes. So specifically to talk about the right vishudi, and it's can be a long subject, and one of the sort of pitfalls of the right vishudi is to talk too much, so I won't go for the long explanation. But I think if we look at all the beautiful experiences that we are having with our meditations and the beautiful nurturing feelings, the love that we feel from inside, and that taste of what our spirit is, it's so nurturing, it's so beautiful, it's so loving. That feeling of forgiveness, that feeling of really knowing our essence. If you could if that would take the form of the way that you express yourself to others, that would be the quality of the right vishudi. That you speak with humility, you speak with very deep respect, because you see in that other person that same spirit that you see in yourself. Um, with kindness, with sweetness, and with benevolence. And this relates back to the topic from Sunday of the right heart. And the quality there is benevolence, that feeling of benevolence toward others. So this is how we, with our right vishudi, with our speech, we express that benevolence. So that what we say is meant to be for the other person's good, for their nurturing, for their nourishment, for their growth, for their support. So it's very giving. And it really is based on being in that state that where our innocence is active, where our spirit is awakened, and we are forgiving. All of those qualities that we talk about, we then express from that point of view in the way that we deal with other people. So it's also not exclusively the way that we speak. It's also the way we regard other people when we're not speaking. So, for instance, we may be quiet and not express anger or judgment or criticism, but if we're looking at another person and feeling that criticism, feeling that judgment, it still blocks the right vishudi, even though maybe we haven't said anything. So it's really a matter of awakening that deep respect and that deep regard for the other person because they are also the spirit and because they also have a kundalini. And so we have that deep respect and that desire for anyone that we know, anyone that we're speaking to grow deeper in their spirit, to grow deeper in their experience of the divine. And that, whether they're meditating or not, everyone has a spirit and everyone has the potential to grow. So we try to just regard everyone from that point of view, that deep respect for who they are, who their essence is. So I think really that's what it's about. And I'd like to spend the time that we have now in meditation and maybe putting some attention on those qualities and to nourish our own right vishudis in meditation. So let's get our foot soaking bowls and hopefully you have them ready. And we can begin, as has been done before, by just holding our left hand open and the right hand toward the water. And we can just ask inside that Mother Kundalini, please vibrate this water. Please energize it so that it can very effectively clear my chakras and help me to be in meditation. So we just give vibrations to the water for a moment. And then we can, excuse me, we can place our feet in the water. And of course, we'll begin the meditation by raising our Kundalini. Let's do it a little slowly, really feeling inside what we're doing. Of course, we raise it 3 times, tying the knot twice the second time, and 3 times the third time. And then we can also do the bandhan. And again, let's feel what we're doing. Let's be aware that we are surrounding our subtle system, our energy system, with a field of these vibrations. So 7 times. And we can open our hands when we're finished on our lap. And of course, our eyes are closed. And let's just begin by taking a couple of deep breaths and allowing our attention to go inside. And let's just place our hand for a moment on the top of the head, on the Sahasrara. And feel the pressure of our hand there. And allow our attention to just naturally, gradually settle on that spot. And we can invite our Kundalini by saying, Mother Kundalini, please rise within me. Please rise within me and take me into meditation. And slowly raise the right hand up. And let's observe what we feel above our head, what we feel with our right hand, and what we feel in that space between the head and the hand. And we can ask again, Mother Kundalini, please rise. Please establish my connection. And let our attention get settled up there above the head, and we can bring our hand down to our lap. Let's put our attention now for a moment on the Muladhara chakra, the first chakra, at the very base of our spine. And we can request again of our divine energy, this Mother Kundalini, please awaken my innocence. Please let me feel the strong foundation of innocence and wisdom within me. Let's bring the right hand now to the heart, the left heart. Just feel our hand there, feel our heart. We can ask, Mother, please come into my heart. Mother Kundalini, please come into my heart. And make me aware of my spirit. Let me feel my spirit. And we can also say a few times, I am the spirit. I am the pure spirit. Maybe we can feel as our heart starts to open, We feel the love, we feel the nourishment of our Kundalini, opening the heart, opening our awareness of our spirit. We feel how this motherly energy nourishes and soothes us. So now we put the right hand down, and let's bring our left hand up to the right vishudi. And we can begin by asking our Mother Kundalini, please come into my right vishudi. Please awaken that deep respect, that deep humility, the sweetness, the concern for the well-being of others. Please take away all tendencies to react, to criticize, to judge, and please awaken in me the benevolence, the capacity to speak for the benevolence, for the well-being, for the nourishment and support of others. We can take a moment to give a bandhan to the right Vishudi. So I think you all know how to do this. We, with the right hand fingers pointing in toward the chakra, we make a circle around the chakra. And the direction of the circle is that you're going toward the left side of your body as you go over the top of the circle. So let's give it a bandhan, maybe 7 or 8 times. And then we can offer to the foot soaking bowl whatever blockages we're removing. Can do it again a couple of times. And let's just, again, give it vibrations for just a minute or so. Because we want our Kundalini to come in and really awaken these qualities in us so that it's not a concept or a change in our behavior that we try to create, but that it's actually a transformation. So we let the Kundalini nourish the right Vishuddhi. Then let's, one more time, just put the hand at the top of the head. Bring our attention back up there. Feel the flow of our Kundalini. And with our attention there, without disturbing the state of meditation, if possible, let's rinse our feet off from the foot soak. And we can put the foot soaking bowl aside. So now let's bring our attention back to the top of the head. And before we listen to Shri Mataji's talk for today, just sit in silence for a minute or so. So let's stay in this meditative state. We'll put on the talk of Shri Mataji.
When he raised his head towards the ether, towards the sky, then this Vishuddhi chakra developed into a different dimension. And people started developing the ego and superego. Superego was already developed, but ego developed in such a way that it started suppressing the superego. That's how you have got conditionings on one side of the Vishuddhi and ego on the other side. When I told you the other day that you give up your free will, in the sense that when you raised your head, you did it through your free will with your power of growing that you had as animals. After that, now you have reached to the human level. And to rise above the human level now, you have to do is to seek your complete freedom. And for that, Vishuddhi Chakra is going to help you along. On this Vishuddhi Chakra, we have to really pay full attention. It is such a complicated chakra. It has all the vowels of a Devanagari script emitting out of the sound of the Shakti that is passing through it, of the Kundalini that is passing through it. So all the vowels are heard on these chakras. These vowels are, as you know, 16 in number. Without the vowel in the Devanagari, you cannot write anything. Vowels are the sustenance, are the power that supports every consonant. So it's very important that our vowels have to be fully nourished and respected. The movement of the neck, as you have seen, in all international life, if you see, everybody has practically the same. Even those who cannot hear, those who do not understand your language, you can nod like this, you can say no like this. Everyone understands this is yes or no. In some particular area, of course, they have little different type of nodding. But too much of nodding of head is not a very good sign. I have seen people in the West, if you tell them something to show that they have appreciated it, they'll go on for quite some time. That's not necessary. Just have to say, all right, or I've understood it. That's all. You have to use your voice instead of nodding like this all the time. It's very bad, very, very bad for the Vishuddhi chakra. Or some of them are the other way around. That whatever it is, they'll put up their head like this. And they won't talk properly. They will not say a word, they'll just keep quiet. You may go on pinching them, doing anything, they won't budge. This kind of personality is also very much detrimental to the growth of their evolution. Apart from that, their Vishuddhi becomes a very big problem. Because of Vishuddhi, there are so many problems. Like angina, you develop because of Vishuddhi. You develop spondylitis because of Vishuddhi. Sometimes people lose their voices completely. Sometimes they have all the time coughing. And there are so many physical problems out of Vishuddhi because, as I said, it's a very, very complicated center. It looks after your ear, nose, throat, all the 16 subplexuses are there, which are looked after by the center. But above all is the center of discrimination. The center of discrimination only comes when you are free people. Till you are biased, till you have your own concepts, you cannot be discrete. And that's the one point where one must understand that to achieve your complete freedom, you have to get your Vishuddhi chakra cleared out. First and foremost thing is that we must speak in a sweet manner. Speak to someone in a sweet manner, not artificially, but sweetly. Speak in a manner that another person likes it. Satyam vadet, priyam vadet. Speak the truth. Don't tell the lies. If you go on telling lies, after some time, even if you tell the truth, it will become a lie. But if you are telling the truth, that even if you tell a lie, it becomes the truth. Nothing is definite about Vishuddhi. Whatever may be the expression of a person may look very innocent. Because that's the thing you can do with your Vishuddhi. You are free because you have raised your head. At this point you have achieved this kind of a special aptitude that you can deceive yourself and you can deceive others. Some people look extremely innocent on the face. They may look to be very simple people, but may turn out to be horrid. Some people may look to be idiotic, but may be very intelligent. So it is how you play with your Vishuddhi which is responsible. But the main thing, what I am trying to tell you, that you can maneuver your Vishuddhi. The way you want to put your expression, the way you want to make your face, the way you want to suggest something, all you can maneuver. And you can keep your heart away from it. In the heart, you may have poison for a person, but outwardly you may say to that person in a very sweet manner something that the person might feel impressed. But in all this behavior, pattern of behavior, you are deceiving yourself, not deceiving the another person, because your self is spirit, which knows you very well. And this will go on and on for all your lives that have to come. So there is no need in any way to be artificial in your expression. There is no need to hide anything in your expression. Of course, if you don't like someone, you need not just say, I don't like you. But in that case, you have to be not also so much appreciative of the person that he is deluded into your appreciation. Now, eyes are very important, and eyes in a way are very much looked after by Vishuddhi, because the muscles of the eyes are looked after by Vishuddhi. Now, the kind of muscles we have which pull our eyes, which close our eyelids and all that, is very much suggestive. You must notice that there are some people who come to me, their eyes go on like this when they close their eyes. They cannot keep it shut. There are some people, when they open their eyes to me, they just keep the eyes open, they just cannot close it. Both are in trouble. The ones which are just keeping the eyes open all the time are the people having supraconscious moods, and those who are flickering their eyes are having the subconscious mood. Some people have also the habit of keeping the eyes in an angle all the time. They never see you straight, but in an angle they'll see. They think sometimes it's very fashionable. Sometimes ladies think it's a very good way of looking at people, and some of them have such eyes that they'll go on, looking and pouring their greedy eyes onto others, or their lusty eyes onto others. This is the worst thing you can do to your eyes, because such people are easily can become blind. Such people might have trouble of the eyes, especially reddening of the eyes can come to such people very much, very quickly. So one has to be careful to keep the eyes very pure, the eyes of an Yogeshwara.
Let's close our eyes and just stay in silence for a minute with our hands open to feel these cool vibrations. So if we feel on our hands or not also connects to the Vishudi center. So we can just ask Mother Kundalini, let me feel the vibrations, let me clear my Vishudi so I can feel the vibrations on my hands. And throughout the music, we can just keep our attention very relaxed on top of our head.
Thank you, Sia, for taking us into a deeper meditation with your music. Let's continue to meditate together in this silence. One of the qualities of the vishudi and the right vishudi is to be the witness. Again, we're fully aware of everything around us, but we just take a moment to watch ourselves and to watch our environment. So in our meditation, let's take a moment to just watch and see, how am I doing in this moment? If anything is bothering us, disturbing us, if we're holding on to any tension, we let it go. And we allow ourselves the gift of this silence. Taking our left hand to the right side of the vishudi, let's place it there for a moment. And let's take a few slow, deep breaths. And as we exhale, we let go of any harsh speech from the day. We let go of any anger that we may feel. Let's massage the right side of the throat to help loosen the muscles and clear any tension in our right vishudi. In fact, we can do that from both sides of our neck if we choose, if that feels good. Letting go of all the stress, all the tension that we carry on our shoulders. We can shake off our hands and bring them back onto our lap. And as we sit in a comfortable position with a straight back, not hunched, with our head up, let's allow the Kundalini to nourish our vishudi, to strengthen this energy center. I want to feel the dignity of my character. Kundalini energy, please nourish and strengthen our right vishudi so that we can have diplomacy, so that we can be caring in our speech. And so that we can be collective beings. Let's again massage the top of our head with our right hand. Moving the scalp 7 times. And let's raise our hand a few inches above the top of the head. And see if we can feel this connection to our inner energy. Let's check with our other hand. And keeping our attention above the top of our head as we bring our hand back onto our lap. Let's sit together collectively in silent meditation for some time. And as we go deeper into this silence, as more strands of this Kundalini energy rise, we can feel connected. We can feel the well-being that surrounds us. And in this power of silence, we grow stronger inside. We feel any pressure, tension, distraction. We can give that a button. And then bring our attention back up as we sit in silence together. So before we conclude our meditation, another way to strengthen and nourish our right vishudi is for us to express our true desires through our speech. So let's bring our left hand, onto the right side of our neck one more time. And you can either do this out loud or silently inside. But from our heart, let's take a moment to just express anything we feel thankful for, or anything we want this Kundalini energy to help fulfill our true desire. So let's take a moment to just be sincere and see what comes from our heart. Thank you for bringing us together to meditate, even from afar, to help us go deeper into the state of meditation and to grow more secure and strong in ourselves. Please help us to feel this state of meditation this state of wellness and well-being in all that we do. Let's bring our hand back onto our lap. And see if we can feel this energy flowing from our hands. Or if we feel a little bit lighter, calmer inside. To conclude our meditation this evening, let's raise our Kundalini collectively and give ourselves a bond. Lovely to meditate together, and Sia, I'll pass it over to you.
How can I speak now? You make it hard. Thank you so much. Before we have the presenters back for a little question and answers, some announcements. So the next session with presenters will be on Sunday. You have tomorrow the foot soak session on Sunday. We follow with day 38, asking for forgiveness, focusing on the back agya. The session will run for approximately 2 more weeks. Session 2, which is again not the end. And as you know, for now, the sessions run on Sunday, Tuesday and Thursday. And in between, we have the collective foot soaks. So it's easy to remember pretty much every day except the Saturday. And please do try to go and meet people in person. Have a look if you find an in-person center near you. They're very often on a Saturday. Sessions are recorded. You can always look on the website or on YouTube. Request a mentor. Again, look into the chat, please. Our kind tech puts always these lovely links in there. You can request a mentor if you haven't yet. And if you have any issue, as I said, write to the email address provided. WhatsApp groups are available. You can sign up. You have the QR code, everything in front of you, and our website that we post again and again. Please have a look. Look for the resources like this week's wonderful vishudi sheet, which covers left and right vishudi. I think it comes up in a minute. This is today's, yeah. So we have the handout for the vishudi. So a lovely handout where you have all the affirmations. It covers left, right, and center. You can look at it in piece on the website. Now, if you would like a breakout room, request now at breakout room help. So you go into the chat box and write, can I please have a breakout room? And somebody will be waiting for you. If you have any questions about today's session, then please write into the chat and I'll keep an eye on it as the MC too. So I'd love to ask my presenters back for a couple of questions to you regarding right vishudi. There they are. Hello. It was so lovely. Such sweet yogis to lead this very special session. All right, so 3 and many more. Oh, it's a great, exciting topic. There's so much still to add on. But maybe just one question to get us all started. Maybe Steve, if you want to go first. Do you feel since you have started your meditation that your speech, the way you express yourself, maybe lovingly or not so lovingly, has changed? Has it changed? Do you have any examples?
Well, I might be a little bit unique in that I was so shy before I was doing Sahaja Yoga. that my problem was I wouldn't say anything. But I think that what has changed and what is still changing, still working on, is that even then, when I wouldn't say anything, I could tend to be quite critical and judgmental. And I think the huge thing that Sahaja Yoga has allowed me to do in that regard is to see myself and to see when I'm going there, to see when that reaction is happening inside. So I'm able to catch it, because I don't accept that from myself, but you have to see it before you can kind of correct it, And so I can ask myself, where's your humility? Where's your respect? Where's your love? And of course, then I can shift gears very easily because it's there. I mean, it's all these resources are really very available to us once our Kundalini is awakened. It's just sometimes we need to have the presence of mind to, like Julia said, the witnessing, to see ourselves and to go, no, that's not where I want to go, going to that deeper resource that's right there. So it has helped me to do that.
That's really nice. I mean, you are such a sweet speaker anyway, so even if you didn't speak, as Shri Mataji said, there's facial expressions, there's many non-verbal ways of communication. What is your experience, Julia? What do you think? What do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think even to this day, it's still something that I am grateful for the meditation, because it helps show me when I slip up, I would say. So it's I think I also am like Steve, where I am a more quiet communicator, or I was trained how to communicate, because I would also be very shy and quiet. But at the same time, I also have learned that you have to have the confidence that you have to speak, whether it's the truth or not. And sometimes, whether it's through maybe anger or sarcasm, then that message isn't received very easily for whoever you're communicating with. But when it is something that is a little bit sweeter or to the heart of the person, when you're trying to express what you're feeling, and you're open also to them and to what they're expressing, then it usually there's some balance that works out. And so in the meditation, I would say, when I am really bothered about an interaction, whether it was with friends or family or colleagues, even this past week, I was on a conference call and I vehemently disagreed with a very close friend of mine. And I immediately thought, like, wait, should I not have said that? And so it was interesting, because there's this connection between the right vishudi and the left vishudi. And as soon as I was realizing, oh, I spoke really like harshly, even though it was just one moment, I immediately went to my left vishudi and I started feeling guilty about it. And then you're like, what do I do? So the meditation helps me then realize, okay, well, maybe I needed to say what I wanted to say, but maybe there was a better way that I could have done it. And then the introspection through the meditation of how can you communicate in a way that is pleasing to yourself and to another person.
Exactly. I mean, speaking sweetly does not mean we become pushovers. It does not, very much not so. Diplomacy is one, right? Diplomacy to how do I pronounce, maybe you could have said it in different way, but maybe that person needed to hear it exactly like that. Maybe that was needed. Sometimes it's needed. We have a saying in German, I come with a German saying today, wie man in den Wald hineinruft, so schallt es heraus. However you call into the forest, that's how it comes back. And I noticed this is very true. If you are expressing yourself with diplomacy and sweetness to others, usually you don't get attacked that much. And I've seen people who go very harsh to people, they get way more back. So there is definitely this element. There is a different thing I had to think of, because this week was very interesting. We had a couple of discussions about topics, and recently we had the seminar where actually my little workshop that I did with the children was coping strategies, not to react, to become the witness, which witness obviously we just heard is a quality for vishudi. And I called it the step back. And then here goes Steve and uses the step back phrase. I'm getting to the point that very often we have things in our mind, we have things in our attention. We have things in our attention that we currently work through. We have these epiphanies where we think, wow, yeah, stepping back, witnessing, not engaging. And then I talk to someone else and they just had the same experience. And then I talk to somebody else and they just had a similar experience. So there we realize how we're connected. Again, a quality of vishudi. We're all so much connected, so much more connected. This is the ether element. It connects us all, the vibrations. Do you have an example like that? Maybe, Julia, you go first. Do you have an example where you really realized, goodness, this is impossible. This person is on the other side of the planet and we literally had the same ideas or
It
feelings?
happens a lot where maybe it's not the same idea, but I'll be thinking about somebody and a moment later I'll get a call from them. And it will be, I was just thinking about you. And then we have a conversation because we're both concerned about the same thing, or something came up that was reminding us of each other. And that's that power of the collectivity that you were saying, or through the ether. You are connected even from afar.
Instant.
And yeah, it happens all the time. I don't know why.
It does, right? And it's an attention thing. It's really phenomenal. How about you, Steve?
You know, I know it happens all the time. It seems like a very common thing that someone, sends me a message about something like that they're going through, that they're thinking about, that they've got their attention on, and I have the same thing going on, but I can't think of a good example at the moment. What came to my mind though is a little bit similar topic, and I hope I haven't told this story before on these courses because at these classes because I don't want to repeat myself. But it was an amazing experience of that kind of collective awareness, I guess you could say, like the awareness of the vibrations. And this was a situation at work where there was someone who had a very bad right vishudi who I had to deal with all the time, who would be very abusive in his speech every time I spoke to him. And I would avoid speaking to him as much as possible. And in this case, I had to call him, and I gave him a bandhan because I just thought I'm going to use my Sahaja Yoga, and kind of try to set the stage for this. So I just put his name in bandhan, and I felt this terrible burning in my left vishudi finger. So, and with that, I understood that he has such terrible self-esteem. It's really himself that he doesn't like. It's not me. And I just got this insight into him by feeling what was going on in the vishudi there. And then I called him, and then he was extremely kind and very, very friendly. And it just sort of worked, and that was a beautiful illustration of how this can work. But it was also for me a bit of an insight that, we can't really be genuinely sweet and supportive to others unless we have achieved that self-respect. That left vishudi has to be okay for us to genuinely give anything to someone else. So a little off topic, but sort of related.
No, it's exactly on topic because from my experience, same thing. People usually are very harsh in their language because they've maybe developed a self-defense technique to be like that,
Yeah.
out of fears or out of insecurities. So yeah, and I think it's very important that we as yogis learn. I have still learned this, to step back and see this as this person's problem, and then all I can control is my reactions anyways. And that's a me problem. That's where I work. But I can't control somebody else's speech, how they will speak to me. And everybody has been insulted at one point, right? Everyone has met somebody who was rude or unfriendly and has taken it in and suffered with that. So here we can learn not to do it ourselves, not to go on to that level, and control, watch our reactions, dissolve those reactions. So what other sort of clearing techniques would you suggest and recommend for the Vishudi chakra? So obviously you have given today, we've seen the hand giving vibrations. What else, Julia, can you recommend for the Vishudi, to clear the Vishudi?
So when we were growing up, one thing that, like, I mean, maybe it wasn't the sweetest speech, or maybe we were sarcastic, or maybe we were swearing when we probably it wasn't the appropriate thing to do. So, I mean, you wouldn't take a bar of soap to your mouth now, right? But sometimes when you find that you're not speaking in a nice way, to have something bitter, it helps to be like, okay, don't want to have that speech, eat something bitter, and then there's that association. Or opposite way, to help soothe the throat, the Vishudi chakra, sometimes it's really nice to have a spoonful of honey or sugar. Like a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. So, it's something that seems silly, but it actually can help in a lot of ways. Honey is really quite good for the throat, for the Vishudi, for the right Vishudi. It helps sweeten the speech. So say you have a herbal tea with a honey in it. That can also be very nourishing for this energy center. Or how we did in the meditation, the massage. We hold a lot of tension here. And whenever there is that aggression, then sometimes we have the like clenched jaw, or we hold the stress in our shoulders. So massaging in the meditation, you can do it with your hands or with oil, olive oil, or that can also be very helpful.
True, olive oil application, even outside here on the
Mhm.
Mataji talks about that. Steve, you think of more clearing techniques?
Well, of course, one of them, as we said before, is seeing yourself. I mean, that's for me maybe the fundamental one, because when you see that you're going in that direction where you're criticizing or judging or speaking harshly, you can pull back, and that already helps. That already you shift gears into a more positive direction, and that's good for your Vishudi. But what I find a lot from a very practical point of view is to clear the whole right side, because sometimes when I work on my right Vishudi directly, it doesn't work if my liver is hot, if my right side is hot, because the heat creates a lot that anger, that reaction. So I find sometimes if I sit with my hand up like this, left hand up, clearing the right side like we do, for a while, eventually my right Vishuddhi clears, because the heat comes out of the right side, and then the right Vishuddhi relaxes. So that's something people can try if that works for you.
Of course, right side, right Vishudi. Personally, with the singing, I sometimes salt water gargling with warm water. It's very important to keep it warm. And the other day I had I had a 21-day morning session, and after I woke up, my voice was like, I don't know, grumbling like a bear. I thought, oh my goodness, how am I going to get ready for this? This is not good. And I opted for inhaling, actually. I just thought, anything that moisture, to get it down, the moisture, salt water. It was literally just salt water inhaling. And I couldn't believe myself how it worked. Literally after 2 minutes of doing that, the voice was back. So all these natural things, these natural elements, salt water, butter.
Yeah, in addition to the gargle, sometimes, again, you have to see if this works for you or not, but the neti pot through the nose, because that also is, the nose and the throat are all within this Vishuddhi chakra, helps to take care of.
Because it goes all up, covering, as Shri Mataji said, the nose, the mouth, all these internal, external.
I had one other thought, that for right Vishuddhi in particular, we say so much about speech. But another thing that Shri Mataji recommended is that everybody write down in a journal their experiences. And so even though it's not verbal speech, there's a way that, okay, maybe we don't, like Steve was saying, maybe we don't catch it in the moment, right? Where we can see what's going on and witness. But at the evening, if we write down how our day was, or if something's bothering us or disturbing us, that also is a way where we can step back and see, okay, what happened, what went well, what didn't go well, how can I do it differently? And so as we keep that recollection or that journal, we can see again through the meditation, how has our experiences changed over time, or how do we handle these difficult conversations with upset people better, or how do I speak nicer when I am angry and upset?
Very good point. Expression is not just language. Very good point. So if you have any more questions, pop them in the chat. I had one question, I don't know if she's still on the call, was during the music she felt the middle finger on the left hand pop up. And over the base of the palm, what does that mean? Anyone want to answer that? Left middle finger. So it's not right vishudi, it's the left middle finger.
Is that when she says pop up, do you think she means it became hot?
Not sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, generally speaking, heat and tingling means there's some kind of blockage which is clearing out. Coolness means it's pretty free flowing. So if your attention went to that finger, that is the left nabi, it's the left side of the third chakra. Chances are something was clearing, and you're feeling that something maybe blocking is going out. So that's a good thing. And then the palm, she said the palm of the hand.
Mm-hmm.
Also, so that would be first chakra on the left side, Muladhara chakra. And again, I think generally the thing about when you feel these things, it is information. Like I would say, if you have a persistent blockage where you're feeling heat or tingling and it doesn't go away, and maybe even for a few days it doesn't go away, you would really want to do some kind of a treatment for that. But quite often you feel things popping up, you feel catches, you feel sensations, and they come and go. And it's just your Kundalini is clearing things out, and you don't really always need to do something about it. You just see it and let it go. Quite often it just goes. So I wouldn't read too much into it, but it is information about your chakras.
Absolutely, such a good answer. And again, witnessing, so don't always have to act on it, but we have all the handouts available for you to check out the left middle finger being connected to the left nabi, which is on the belly. So if you want it, if you feel it on the left, you can put your right hand on your left nabi. But all these handouts are there on the website. You can look it up and look at the affirmations. And if you feel it keeps happening, happens again, then try the affirmation for the left nabi and see if it, but as you say, it works out. Something is sometimes moving and things are working
And if
out.
you want to have someone for a more one-on-one, you can also.
You can still hop on to a breakout room. It's still a possibility. Excellent. Thank you for adding that. Any more questions? Otherwise, we can slowly wrap up. But it's very nice if people put their questions in the chat. So I'm here, I'm looking. Anything connected to the right vishudi or to the session today? Would be nice to hear from you. Breakout room still available. Make use of it. This is an interesting question. I notice Shri Mataji is constantly clearing her throat. Is this a sign of blocked vishudi? I also have sensations from void that runs into my fingers, especially the heart. Julia, you want to take this one?
Good question. So
It is.
yeah, I would say Shri Mataji, she helped not just explain this whole system to us, but she also took a lot of time to help everyone who she was meeting to clear and for their Kundalini and energy to rise. So a lot of times when there is that like clearing of the throat, in addition to just physically clearing the throat, she was helping to clear this energy center within everyone who she was speaking to. So a lot of times, another good way, like if we feel that, in addition to giving the bandhan, to help remove the blockage is to have a glass of water or to have a lozenge or something, because that pressure that builds, it's basically the energy rising so that it can be cleared. So yeah, for Shri Mataji, she definitely did a really great job. And I think, Steve, you had a lot of experiences in person as well, where Shri Mataji was saying that she was helping to raise everyone's kundalini when she was giving these speeches, and to help nourish these energy centers for us.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. What you said, Julia, is really it. I mean, she would work on us. You know, when she was speaking to us, she was working on us at the level of clearing the energy centers, and she was constantly trying to help us to overcome any obstacles inside to being in a deep connected state. So when she would be clearing her throat, she was, working on the vishudi. Of course, she was talking about vishudi on this one. She was actually talking about vishudi. The subject was vishudi, and she's clearing her throat to clear out the vishudi. So absolutely, she always did that. Yeah.
How often have we noticed also when we meet as a group in a seminar or meditation that all of us had that issue, that problem at that time? So very often, and I think it's a calming thing to know, is what you struggle with is not necessarily your personal problem. It is a collective problem that could be in your family, that could be in your nation, that could be currently going on this planet.
Yeah.
And we pick up on these things, especially as realized souls, having had this Kundalini awakened. We're so connected, we underestimate how much we're connected. So it would be a good thing to take home this awareness that not everything that you are fighting here, maybe the finger popping or whatever, is you or is your problem. None of that is you anyway. You want to distance yourself from any sort of catch anyway. This is things to work out. But very often it's a collective thing going on. We have another really good question here. This refers to the speech. Can you possibly explain more about the connection between Vishuddhi chakra and the eyes? Because Shri Mataji's recording touched on this. So the Vishuddhi chakra and the eyes. Who wants to take that? Hands up.
I'm sure either one of us could.
Go ahead, Steve.
Well, I think what she was saying is that with the eyes, the Vishuddhi governs the muscles that control the eyes. So, like the vision itself is more the Agya chakra, the quality of our vision, but the muscles that control the eyes are governed by the Vishuddhi. And I mean, I think she was, making reference to the fact, like you said, Sia, that a lot is not verbal. That the way we use our eyes is part of the way we express ourselves, and it's part of the Vishuddhi. So the eyes can convey all sorts of, aggression or all sorts of compassion, and so the way we use our eyes is important. And I don't know, maybe there's more that she spoke about. That's what stood out to me.
I would like to throw this one to Julia because I think it's been on my mind before. That's why I'm glad this question came. It may be a little bit advanced, something that we may have heard a while ago, that the outside of our expressions here are Vishuddhi, yet the inside is actually right heart, the inner ear. Am I correct, or did I get that jumbled up, Julia? Tell me.
I believe you're right. So for the Vishuddhi, it is throat, the muscles of the eyes, the outer ear, and then also I believe the mouth, the teeth, like the face, the facial muscles as well. So just in terms of like how we can maintain our body so that it is healthy. Like we have this subtle system that we're learning through this 21 days course. And each of these energy centers, they do correspond to our physical well-being and physical body as well. So like we were saying, the gargling of the throat, right? Or the massage, or all of these things can help us clear the blockages within this energy center if we maintain and take care of our physical being. as well, not just our subtle being. So like brushing our teeth and dental flossing are all really
Yes,
important
absolutely.
things for
All the external.
vishudi, which seems, I mean, but that's just the way it is. Our body, it's all integrated, right? So
Yes.
there was another thing of like I noticed that if I was to just have my normal face, which is not always smiling, then people will interpret that I'm upset or that I'm angry or that something is wrong. So I really make a point that my smile or my visual cues, that I am happy and engaged and wanting to be here. And sometimes it might be fake, but I notice that as I smile more or as I have a happier well-being, then I become a happy person. So
Backwards.
all of these things are connected, and we actually can go really, really deep into this, and maybe that would be good to do in a breakout room for anyone who's interested.
True. It shows once again how everything's super connected, especially the head, like Steve said, with the eyes, the agya plays together. But generally, I think we can say whatever we show to the outside, again, to the collective, this is all these parts of the body are vishudi. Whereas when you go into the subtlety of it, into the inside, it actually connects to the heart, so to the right heart. So
And they're all connected, right? Because when we are aggressive, that really can impact someone's heart in a negative way. Or when we're sweet and we're caring, then that love flows, and we feel that in the heart and the other person. So
I do remember a talk of Shri Mataji on the vishudi, which was entirely from beginning to end, how you take care of your body. It was so much connected to, as you said, the flossing, the olive oil in the ear, the gargling of the. It is a lot. There's a big physical element to how to clear your center from a very practical side, actually.
Yeah.
Excellent. There's good questions tonight. This is fun. Any more questions? Otherwise, Steve, you wanted to add something to what
I
Julian
was
said?
going to say everybody's heard the phrase that the body is the temple of the spirit, and so you wouldn't you wouldn't keep your temple in a mess.
That's it.
Need to take care, and so that it supports what we're doing spiritually.
That's beautiful. Maybe a wonderful ending to our session. Let's look after ourselves. We no more questions. Everyone seems happy. So this is great. I wish you all a lovely, lovely evening. I had a wonderful one. Thanks so much for coming. Thanks so much to the presenters to give your time and your joy and share it with everyone. Hope to see you soon. And again, breakout room still there. Have a lovely night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.